Hello everyone. Let's begin with the 12th chapter named India Gains Independence. So in this chapter we will discuss or we will get to know the process how the Britishers hand over the India's freedom and what are the main law or the changes that brought in that time which changes the situation of our nation. So during the period of Second World War, Indian freedom struggle had become more extensive. What was extensive? Broad, large. We had seen the situation of England was getting worse because of the war expenses. Already in First World War, England had invested lot of money, and again in second world war the situation was worst for the European countries, and the loss has been faced by the countries like England or Germany. So the demand for independence of India was gaining its strength. Since Britishers are getting weak year by year due to the war crisis, and our independence struggle are getting fierce form, and our demands are getting more strength, the British ruler realized that it was necessary to take a serious note of it. And since seeing the condition, the British ruler decided now we can't delay the India's independence, and they also take a serious note of it. Accordingly, the British Parliament government started preparing various plans for granting Indian independence to India, and on the basis of that, they started to grant freedom for India. The Indian National Congress was founded on the principle of secularism. What do you mean secularism? Secularism means the equal rights and equal thoughts for all religion and caste. And as we all know, Indian National Congress always supported the ideas of unity. People of all caste and religion had taken part in the national struggle. To weaken this movement, the British opted the policy of divide and rule. As we all know, to weaken us, to divide us, they always tried the policy of divide and rule, where they always tried to create the religionism in our country. Its consequences was the establishment of Muslim League, and the result of such thoughts or such act was the establishment of Muslim League. As we all know, a separate group or separate organizations of the Islamic people had taken a great stand, and they named their organization as Muslim League, and also they demanded for a separate Islamic country called Pakistan. So in this way the British were successful for the partition of our nation or to divide us. In 1930, Dr. Muhammad Iqbal, a well known poet, put forth the thought of an independent Muslim state. So it was first suggested by Muhammad Iqbal in the year 1930 that there should be a separate country for the Islamic culture or Islamic people. Later, Chaudhry Rahmat Ali put up the idea of Pakistan. Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah was an important member of Indian National Congress. So he also supported the thought of Rahmat Ali, and they all began together and started a movement for the separation of our nation. Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah put forth the idea of two nation theory and demanded a separate Muslim nation called Pakistan. Hindu organization. It was said that Indian National Congress was working only for the Hindu people, and it is a Hindu organization. This misbelief, this misconcept has been raised in the minds of the Islamic people, that created a rift between the Hindus and Muslim during that period. And we had seen the joy of freedom was tinted because of the partition of our nation. Indian National Congress was only a Hindu organization. The Muslims have no benefit of it. Such thoughts has been spreaded, or such thoughts has been put in the minds of Muslims. Such kind of propaganda was started by Barrister Jinnah and the Muslim League. Wavell Plan. What was the Wavell Plan? In the June 1945, Lord Wavell, the Viceroy of India, drew up a plan. There were different provisions in this plan. So, since as we had know, the Second World War has been ended in the year 1945, and Britishers are planning for the India's independence. For this purpose, a plan has been drawn at the British Assembly, and for that purpose, a Wavell plan has been put forth in the front of the Indian leader. But it was not could not be completely successful because the demands which were raised by the Indians or the Muslim League was not fulfilled. There were different provisions in this plan. What are the provisions, the kind of arrangement, the rules or the planning? According some of its provision were that in central and legislative legislatures, Muslims, Dalit and minorities should be given proper representation, and there will be equal number of Hindu and Muslim members in Viceroy's executive policy. So they just trying to create a tension, a problem between Hindus and Muslim by giving them a separate electrodes or the separate representatives, where we are not in a favor of such kind of movement. We are just carry out our freedom movement in a united way. A meeting of all major political parties in India. As we all know, Indian National Congress was the most important political party in India, and other than the Indian National Congress, there are so many important political parties at that time. So a meeting was carried out and was organized at Shimla to consider the Wavell plan. Barrister Jinnah insisted that only the Muslim League should have the right to suggest the name of the Muslim representatives to the Viceroy's Executive Council. So in this way, the rift or a kind of separation thought had been started in the minds of Muslim League, and Barrister Jinnah demanded that only the Muslim League will decide the representatives of the Muslims. But the Congress opposed it, as Congress was not in favor of such kind of division. Therefore, the Wavell plan could not be successful. Cabinet mission. What is cabinet? Cabinet means a kind of a function of the authorized people, highly officials, that are called as the cabinet members. So this cabinet mission has been formed by three important leaders, though that they should bring a function in India's situation. After the end of Second World War, the British rulers were in favor of granting freedom to India. In the parliament, the British Prime Minister Attlee, at that time, the British Prime Minister Attlee, he clarified the British policy regarding India. According to it, what was the British policy? The right of Indian people to draft their own constitution was recognized. As we always demanded for our own constitution, so the right for our own constitution has been given recognition. It was also made clear that the issues of minority will not come in the way of the India's independence. In March 1946, a delegation of British minister. Delegation means high level officers came to India, that includes Patrick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps, and A.V. Alexander. They put forth the England's plan regarding India's in front of the Indian leaders. This is called as the cabinet mission. But somehow this was also failed because British never shown the planning of complete independence to Indians, and even they have not shown any interest for the separate nation called Pakistan. So Muslim League also doesn't supported their plan. Some of the provisions in the plan were not acceptable to the Congress. Few plans were accepted, but few plans were not accepted by the Congress. Similarly, there was no provision of independent state for the Muslim. So the Muslim League was also unsatisfied with this cabinet mission. Therefore, the cabinet mission was not fully accepted. So in this way, cabinet mission was not accepted in India. So here come the direct action day. What was the direct action day? As the Muslim League and Islamic people are demanding for a separate nation, but since they are not getting the proper response from the Britishers or from the Indian National Congress, they had decided to create a nationwide violence agitation. So here they decided to create a violence in the nation, and they declared it as a direct action day. It was a very serious thing that has been taken at that time. Many people lost their life, and everywhere we had seen the bloodshed happened between the Hindus and Muslim. Since the demand of Pakistan was not fill sorry since the demand for Pakistan was not been fulfilled, the Muslim League decided for Direct Action Day. Accordingly, 16th of August 1946 was declared to be observed as Direct Action Day, and they planned on this day there will be a mass agitation, a violent agitation should be carried out. The followers of Muslim League resorted to violent ways. There were Hindu-Muslim riots in various parts of the country. Everywhere there was bloodshed, riots, fight against the community. There were massacres in the Naukali region in the province of Bengal. And since it was seen every part of our country where we have a Hindu and Muslim community, but a massacre, massacre, the mass killing is seen at a Naukali region, it's in West Bengal. To stop such kind of riots or such kind of violent agitation, Gandhi ji personally went to the Naukali and he tried to convince the people not to fight on the name of the religion or the caste. To stop this violence, Gandhi ji went there without giving any thought of his life. He doesn't fear for his life. He tried his best to establish peace there, and he tried to bring peace in the Naukali region. So in this way, this movement was carried a very fierce form.